Hello everyone. Welcome to the other session of operating system. So in the previous session, we spoke about the topics that listed, basically virtual memory, what you mean by demand paging, and when a page fault occurs. If in case of page fault occurs, how do we handle the page faults? And because of the occurrence of the page fault, will there be a degradation in the performance? If so, how is it basically formulated? Right? So now, when we have understood the concept of page fault, right? So there should be a scenario like how do we handle it, and that is basically what we call it as page replacement. Okay. So in the replacement topic, we would try to cover what is the need for it and the basic algorithm that's basically incorporated for a page replacement technique, right? So when we spoke about demand paging, right? So we said all the pages that is part of the memory is executed by the processor. If in case that page is not there, then that particular page which is found in the secondary memory has to be demanded. So there is occurrence of page fault, right? And hence you demand the page and you move it onto the physical memory before it is being executed by the processor, right? So if a process has n pages, it is not necessary to allocate n pages framed in the physical memory. So as we discussed in the previous class, if there are around n number of pages, so only few of them are brought onto the physical memory, the ones which will be executed by the processor. And then you demand it as per it is required, right? So if in case we say there is a process of with 10 pages, right? And it need not require that you have to bring the entire 10 pages. You can initially bring maybe 5 pages. By doing so, what are you doing is, by bringing only partial of the pages onto the memory, you're giving some space for the other processes to be allocated on the physical memory, which can be executed simultaneously. And also you save the input output operation, which would have been more extensive if in case you're trying to bring the entire process onto the physical memory, right? So you're saving input output action and degree of multiprogramming can be increased. So let's take an example and talk about it. Okay, so let's say there are 50 frames in the physical memory. Okay, and assume there are 10 pages for each of a process, and let's say there are 10 processes. Okay, so now if you try to bring the entire 10 pages of all the 10 process, then you would require how many frames? You would require basically 100 frames. But here I have told that I have only 50 frames. So what could you basically do? You could basically bring maybe 5 pages of the 10 processes onto the physical memory. So it is 10 process and 5 pages each. So you can occupy the entire 50 frames present in the physical memory, right? What if in case now you want to bring the 6th frame of one of the process? So do you have free frame over there? Because I have just have 50 frame. So in that case, what happens when you're trying to allocate one of the frame greater than the five frames of individual process, then you will see there is over allocation. It means that you're trying to allocate that particular page onto the frame, but you're not able to get a free frame, right? So that is when you come across the concept of page fault. What happens? Page fault occurs for the 5 pages which are to be bought in. So every other 5 page which is there on the physical memory, if you have to get it onto the disk, then there is a page fault. So 5 page faults for each process. So how many times a page fault will occur? 5 into 10. So 50 times the page fault will occur, right? So while bringing in the pages from the secondary storage device, it is found that there are no free frames in the physical view. So this can be solved by page replacement or decreasing the degree of multi-programming. So how do you solve it? Now I said there are 5 pages of each process place. Now how could you resolve such a way that you have a free frame? One way is, instead of getting 5 frames of each process, bring only 3 or 4 frames. By bringing 3 or 4 frames, you're left with at most how much is it? Around 10 plus frames which are free. So then, since those 10 frames are free, then you can bring in the pages of any of the process. One way is bringing the less number of frames. Other way is, instead of having 5 process to be executed, just have only 3 process to be executed. In that case, you are getting only pages of the 3 process, right? So they're saying you can solve it either by reducing the number of frames for each process, or you can bring in only decrease the degree of multi-programming. Okay, then so how do we solve it? We can solve this by page replacement or by decreasing the degree of multi-programming. So now, instead of decreasing the degree of multi-programming, because you know the process CPUs are there which can execute multiple process, instead of decreasing that, you can as well use the concept of page replacement. So what is the need for page replacement? Okay, so as we have discussed previously, with the help of a diagram, you understand it better. So now you see there is one process which are 4 pages, another process of 4 pages. Okay, so this is how a logical memory would look like for one user and the second user. Now you have a physical memory which is of 8 frames, but out of the 2 frame is used for some other for some OS related or some hardware related or driver related software to be placed. So the remaining are only 6 frames. Okay, so now if you look into the page table of each of the process, you see page 3, which is holding the page 3 is holding the first frame 4 is holding the first page, and frame 4 is holding the second page, frame 5 is holding the third page. And similarly, if you look at the second page table of your user 2, you will see page 6, page 2 and page 7 has the 3 pages of process 2. And you see there's one invalid bit for page table 1 and one invalid for page table process 2. Right? So it means if the CPU is executing either process 1 or process 2, it's able to access only 3 pages of both the process. The remaining 2 pages, that is 1 page of process 1 and 1 page of process 2, is residing in the disk. Okay, so now when you have to bring either M or B onto the B is what? B is the page of process 2. M is the page of process 1. If you have to bring in any one of these onto the physical memory, you will see there is no free frame at all. All the frame is occupied by either the operating system or the hard drive and page process 1 and process 2. So in this case, there is no free frame. It is in this situation that basically you have to incorporate the page replacement. Okay. So how do you do the page replacement procedure, or what is the sequence of steps? Find the location of the desired page on the disk. So basically you have to, if your processor is executing process 1, in that case you want this page. So first is to locate which page do you want. Do you want page B or page M? Locate the desired page on the disk. Find a free frame. If there is a free frame, use it. So if in case instead of 8 frames you had 9 frame, in that case 1 frame would be free and you could get this onto the disk. If in case there is no free frame, use a page replacement algorithm to select a victim. Okay, so here you need to understand what do you mean by a victim frame, or it is other word you call it. Basically you can say to find out which is a victim frame. When I say what is victim frame, now sorry. Okay, now we are talking about victim frame. Now, when I'm telling I have to bring either B or M onto the physical memory, one of the frame has to be selected such that that is removed and swapped out to the disk. Either this, or this, or this. So which one do you select out of these 6 frame? The frame what you select, that is called as a victim frame. Okay, the one which you select to swipe out and swipe in any of these 2, that we call it as a victim frame. Okay, so that we call it as a victim frame. Okay, write victim frame to disk if dirty. So we'll talk about this. What do you mean by a dirty bit? Bring the desired page into the free frame, update the page and the page table. If in case you're removing this D, let's say you're removing this D and you're bringing this M. So this goes and sits over here. First of all, first you select which frame. Okay, then you select which victim. Then you bring out the victim. Then you know there is a free frame. Take this M and place it onto this. Then what you do, you need to modify this, right? You basically need to modify which table. Now, since 2 is removed, so 2, this is basically holding the D frame, right? So 2 is made as invalid. This is changed from V to invalid because 2D is no more residing on the physical memory. Which will become V now? Since you're taking this M and placing it over here, the M belongs to process 1. So which will be make it valid? So you put here as 2 and you put it as V, because the second frame you're placing M, and that is because valid because it is there in the physical memory. Okay, so that is what happens over here. Bring the desired frame in bring the desired page into the free frame and update the page table and the frame tables also. Continue the process by restarting the instruction that occurred the trap. So where had you stopped? You had stopped at executing, you had continued, you had done till J and you had not continued, you had stopped because you had no page of M. So now you restart from where you had stopped. Okay, now if you look at this, there is some, the access to the memory is more. What do you mean by access to the memory? First of all, you look at the disk and say which is the disk, which is the frame you want. And then you see which is the victim. And then you pull up and you push it into the disk. And then you take that you take the free victim frame and you move it to the disk, and you take the required frame and put it to the free frame. So there is 2 times you're basically looking up to the disk. Okay, so how can you avoid it? So now potentially 2 page transfer for page fault is occurred, and that increases the effective address time, right? The address time where basically you want to access the memory, right? So that will be increased by 2 because you're pushing the you're finding the victim, putting into the disk, and you're finding the required page and putting onto the physical memory, right? So now how can you avoid it? If no free frame is available, 2 page transfer is required. One is out and one is in. It doubles the page fault service time and increases the effective access time. So you're telling basically the effective access time is greater, right? So how can you basically decrease it? So that is when the concept of dirty bit or the modify bit comes into picture. Okay, so what do you mean by dirty bit or modify bit is, so I will show you with the help of a diagram. Okay, so each of the page table, you know which page is mapped to which particular frame and whether it is a valid or invalid bit. Along with the valid and invalid bit, you have an additional bit, what we call it as dirty or a modify bit. Okay, so when this bit is set to 0, it means the frame or the page what is there in that frame is not at all modified after you got it from the disk to the physical memory. Okay, I repeat it again. When the dirty bit is 0, or you say it is not set, okay, it is not set, then you say this particular frame, this particular page in that particular frame is not at all modified. So along with the valid and invalid bit, you have something called dirty or a modify bit. Okay, so when this is not set, you mean that there is no change in that particular page. So if there is no change in that particular page, okay, why do you basically want to do a transfer out? Because you know there is always a replica of page frames in the disk. So if there is no change in that particular page after bringing initially from the disk to the physical memory, then there is no need to swap out at all. Okay, internally you can just remove that page in that frame and you can swap in the required page onto that particular frame. Okay, so that is what we call it as a modifier or dirty bit. Use modifier or dirty bit to reduce the overhead of page transfer. Only modified pages are written to the disk. Modify bit is set when the page is modified. Okay, just a minute, hold on. Sorry. So here, what are we trying to say about the modify bit or the dirty bit? Only if that particular page, initially when it was bought on from the disk to the physical memory, and from then on, if there is no change, it means there's no need to do a page out. Okay, you just delete that page and then you bring in the required page. So the number of times you're doing transfer, that is one for transfer in and one for transfer out or swipe out, that need not be done. You just need to do a swap in instead of a swap out. Okay, hope you're clear with this. So in page replacement, apart from telling that looking for a free frame, if in case there is no free frame, you look at one of the victim. You take it out, you swipe it out, and you bring in the page what you require. And instead of doing a swap out and swap in, if in case that victim what you have selected is not at all changed after you bought into the physical memory, in that case, you just need to delete it and swipe in the required process. Okay, so that is about the dirty bit or a modify bit. Now when we have to talk about, now we just spoke about what is the need for page replacement. Now when we talk about how do we solve, what are the different ways you can solve this demand paging, right? Initially we just spoke, one way is making sure you allocate a right number of frames for the process so that there are still free frame being remain. So that we call it as frame allocation algorithm. One is that way, you make sure there are few free frames, or else you, if there are no free frames left, then you implement the page replacement algorithm. Okay, so what does it mean? When multiple processes are in memory, should decide how many frames to be allocated to each process, such that you still have empty frame. Or when a page replacement is needed, which page should be selected for replacement. It is not easy, or it is not done in a very random way of doing a page replacement, or selecting the victim is not a very random way. You need to do it in a very technical or a very designed way, such that it is not done in such a way that every time every page a particular process is a page of a process is looked up by the CPU is being made as a victim, right? So you have to design it in a very suitable way. Okay, so once we talk about the page replacement algorithm, we have to design the algorithm in such a way that it has a very less page fault rate. What do you mean by less page fault? It's nothing but you're looking up to the memory for a very less number of time. Not memory, sorry. You're looking up to the disk to get the page onto the memory in a very less number of time. Okay, so let's try to understand it. Let's say, assuming that each there is some address. Okay, each of the page size is around 100 bytes. Let's assume each of the page is 100 bytes. Okay, and now I have to analyze how many times that particular page is made as a victim. Okay, now, so to understand, let's say for following address, let's say this is the address. Okay, let's say 122, 435, 123, 511, and so on. Now, to understand if these are made as a victim, if these are the pages I'm looking for, let's reduce their complexity by giving it a reference string. What is a reference string? So now let's say 0 to 99 is page 1. 100 to 199 is page 2. 200 to 299 is page 3. So considering that strategy, if you look at this, this belongs to page 1, this belongs to page 4, this belongs to page 1, and this belongs to page 5, right? Assuming it's starting from page 0. Each of the pages, how many size? 100 bytes. Okay. Now, how many times are you, if you look at the string, how many times are you basically looking up to page 2 twice? Okay. Page 4 once, Sorry, you're looking up to page 1 twice, page 4 once, and page 5 once. Okay, so having this understanding, the reason is instead of looking at the very huge address size, because the physical address could vary, instead of looking at the physical addresses of bigger length, just have a reference string, like reducing, saying that from here to here, if this is the address, this is the reference string, this is the reference string. Okay, this is just to understand how this page replacement algorithm would work. Before having to work on this algorithm, try to understand how do we give the reference string. In this case, we have taken each page is of 100 bytes. Now, before understanding the different algorithm, let's try to give an analogy saying that when would the page fault occur more based on the number of frames. When would a page fault occur? Basically, when there are no required page for the processor to execute, then we say it is a page fault. But if there is a free space, then automatically you can bring the page. You check if it is invalid, the demand page in concept. You see if it is invalid, go to the disk and get it on and place it to the free frame, right? So you say if the number of frames are larger, then the number of page fault would be less, right? So if you know there are free frames available, you can bring the pages what you want to be executed before in hand, or you do the demand paging, and there is no what do you say there is no concept of frames being very less in number. So if you have the number of frames being more, then the number of page fault will naturally be less, because you have more space to accommodate the pages onto the frame, right? So graphically you can say the number of if the number of frames are greater, then the page fault would naturally decrease, right? You can't say it goes to very minimum, but it will decrease because you have major of the portion onto the physical memory. Okay, so we try to understand the different algorithms. There are many algorithms, but in our study we'll try to understand 3 of the algorithm, basically, which is first in first out, okay, and optimal page replacement, and least recently used page replacement. Okay, so the simplest is the page replacement algorithm. The simplest algorithm is a first in first out page replacement algorithm. So what do you mean by first in first out? The same concept of algorithm we have incorporated in the CPU scheduling, right? When the CPU is looking at different processes, if it's first in first out, means whichever process has come in first, that will be executed, and then the second process. So it goes in a very systematic place, and even though there is a very huge process, then that will be executed, even though there are processes with less execution time which is waiting behind that particular large process, right? So now the same concept, if we incorporate in page replacement algorithm, right? We see which with each page is attached the time when it is bought in to the memory. When the page must be replaced, the oldest page must be selected. Can implement using FIFO queue to hold all pages in memory. When a page is brought onto the memory, it is inserted to the tail of the queue. So what does it mean? Now I'm telling there is no free frame on the physical memory. Okay, now I have to make one frame as victim. So whom do I make it as a victim? So the one which is brought into the physical memory the first time. So how do you know if it is the first time? So there is a timestamp which is being monitored along with the when these pages have been moved in and moved out, right? So it's nothing but a metadata when this particular page is moved in. So one which is moved in first is being made as a victim, and the required page is brought in to the page, brought into the physical memory, but that is inserted into the tail of the queue. It's inserted into the last of the queue, right? So if in case you bring in one more, then that is below the last which were previously inserted. Now let's try to understand the FIFO page replacement algorithm with an example. Okay, so this is the reference string. Okay, so this is the page, I can say this is the page number. Okay, and this is the frame. Okay, so this is the page number and these are the frames of the physical memory. Now, let's say these are the pages that basically have to be moved on to the physical memory. Now, since initially all the frames are free, when 7th page come, you put it into that particular frame. Then 0th page comes in. The 0th page is required to be placed on the physical memory. So you place 0 because there is a vacant frame. 1 come and that is also vacant. So you place. So now you see there were 3 frames and all the 3 frame is occupied by page 7, page 0 and page 1. Right? So you have occupied and there are no more free frames. Now let's say you are looking for page 2. Now, when your page 2 comes in, which of the frame will be made as a victim? Naturally, it will be frame 7, or it depends. You either say page 7 or frame 1. Let me say it as page 7 because it is placed in the first frame. Okay, so when page 2 comes in, the page 7 had come in initially, so I remove that. Okay, I push out that to the disk and I put swap in the frame page 2. Okay, done now. Now which frame has to be, the processor is looking up to page 0. But page 0 is already there in the memory, so there is no page fault being done. Okay, so this you have to understand. If page 0 is being looked up by the processor, that is already there, so you need not do a page fault. Then page 3 is being looked up by the CPU. In that case, which one do I remove? After 7, it was 0 which had come. So I remove page 0 and I swap in page 3. Okay. Now next again CPU is looking for, see this is nothing but the pages what the processor is looking up to for its execution. Okay. First it's executing page 7, then it's executing page 1 and so on. Okay, now after page 3, page 0 comes in. Okay, so when page 0 comes in, naturally first was 7, then 0, then 1. So 1 is there. So you push, swap out 1 and you put the 0. Okay, so 0 is over here. Then page 4. So which is the oldest among this? Page 2. So remove that, put 4. Then 2 is come. Okay, so now which is oldest of 3 is 3? 3. So you remove 3 and put 2. Then again CPU is looking for page 3. So which is oldest among these 3? Page 0 had bought in long back time compared to these two. So you put in 3. Okay. Sorry, you put in 0. Then again page 3. Okay. So sorry, here 0 is there. Then page, so here 4, 2 and 3. So here you page 3 is coming. So you remove what's that? Remove the 0 and you put the 3. Now what is coming? Page 2 is coming. So if you look over here, page 2 is already there, right? So you need not do a page fault. Okay. Then page 1. Page 1 is coming. So is it over here? No. So which is the oldest one? 2. Okay. So you remove 2 and put 1. Okay. Then 2 is coming. So is there a page 2? No. So which is the oldest one? Page 3. So you remove, swap out 3 and put 2. Then 0 page has been asked. It's there already. Then page 1 is asked. That is already there. Then you're asking for page 7, which is not there. So remove the old page, which is nothing but page 0. Then page 0 comes in. You had just swapped out, but that needs to be swapped in. So which is the oldest one? Page 1. So replace 1 by page 0. Then again 1 comes. You have just swapped it out. Again 1 comes, but you look into this and swap out the oldest, and the oldest is 2 and then 1. So to satisfy this particular sequence that the processor is looking up to, you will see you're hitting the disk how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So assuming initially there was no frame on the, none of the frames were being placed on the hard disk. So if that is a situation, you're basically looking up to the disk how many times? 15 times for this particular sequence. In which pattern? First in, first out. It means whichever had come in first will be the victim, and that will be swapped out, and the frame which is required will be swapped in. This is how the first in first works. But here this performance is really not good, because you see in many of the scenario you would just swap out 1 and that is required immediately. So the performance is not very good. And when, in which situation you feel that is not good, let's assume that you have a first page, you have initialized some global variables in one of the program. Okay, so when, if you have initialized the variables as global variable, then every time you would be using it, right? So in that case, if you have swapped out the page 1, again when you're executing page 7, you want again page 1, so you swap in, again you swap out, again in other page you are executing, you want the first page. So in that case, when you're done the initialization in one of the pages and you're trying to access that page very frequently, in that case, first in first out is not a good idea. Variable initialization long ago, but constantly in use. Even if a constantly used page is moved out, it only slows down the performance, does not cause incorrect execution. It does not mean that every time the more the page fault, it will cause the execution to an incorrect way. No, execution will happen, but it will happen in a slow way because you're looking up to the disk every now and then. So which is a better option compared to the page replacement? So before understanding the next algorithm, let's try to understand one of the drawback in the first in first out. Okay, so let's assume there is a reference string 1 2 3 4 in 4 1 2 5 1 2 3 4 5. So let's assume this is the reference string. Okay, let's assume there are 3 page frames in the um, what in the particular frames in the physical memory. Okay, so first time you have placed 3 frames. So first time you're hitting the disk and you're placing 1 2 3. Okay, now next fourth one comes, so which will you pull out? You'll swap out 1, 4 will be placed. Then next which is coming, 1 is coming, so which will you swap out? 2, and you place 1. Then 2 is coming, then you swap out 3, 2. Then 5 is coming, swap out 4, 5. 1 is coming, swap out 1. Sorry, 1 is already there, so you need not swap out. 2 is coming, 2 is already there, need not swap out. Then 3 is coming, so you swap out 1 and place 3. Then 4 is coming, swap out 1 and place 4. 5 is already there. Okay, so for this sequence, how many times did you hit the disk? 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so here I've put 9 fault, assuming that they were the frame where initially the frame was free. So if this is 7, if this is 7, naturally the first time you will get 1, second hit will be 2, and the third hit will be 3. So you already have, so that it covers the first, you would already have 2 page faults for the first 2. So basically there would be 9 page fault for this particular thing. Okay, so this is just broken down. You'll have 1 first time, then you'll have 2, and then you'll have 3. Okay, I'll show it over here. Okay, so there are 9 page fault if in case there are 3 frames. Now for the same reference, if in case I put 4 frames. Okay, so now let's look at how the if FIFO will work. So this is what I meant. Okay, so this will be in the first 2, which is missing is this one and this one. Okay, now if I have 4 frames, you'll have first page fault getting the first one, second page fault getting the second one, third page fault getting the third one, fourth page fault you will get the fourth one, because you have 4 frames. So there are 4 page faults and you get all the 4 frames. Now when 1 is coming, you already have it over there, so there is no page fault. 2 is coming, 2 is also there. When fifth one is coming, you will see there is no free frame, right? So then you remove this and you put the 5. Then 1 is coming, you remove 2 and you place 1. 2 is coming, you remove 3 and place 2. 3 is coming, remove 4 and place 3. 4 is coming, remove 5 and place 4. 5 is coming, remove 1 and place 5. So you will see for the same sequence, I've done the FIFO for 3 frames and 4 frames. But here there were 9 page faults, but here you came across 10 page faults. Okay, so but according to a graph we just told, if the number of frames are more, the page fault should decrease. But here what is happening, though the number of frames are more, the page fault has not reduced, it has become more. So in this situation, where there are more frames leading to more page fault, that we call it as a Bellardi's anomaly. Okay, this, I mean, they're telling in FIFO, there is no way that the number of free frames, more the number of free frames would reduce the page fault. There are situations that the number of, though the frames are increased, the page fault would also increase. That scenario, we call it as a Bellardi's anomaly. Anomaly. Okay. Now, so for this sequence, if we plot a graph, you will see it didn't look a curve like this down as a previous curve. You will see there will be 10 page fault for 1 frame and 2 frame, right? Naturally, 12, because there are 12 sequence, I guess. 3, 3, 3. So 12 sequence. Naturally, every time there would be a page fault. So there would be 12 page faults for 1 and 2 frames. There are 10 page faults for, 9 page faults of 3 frame. There would be 10 page fault for 4, and there would be around 5 page faults for increased number of frames, right? So this graph illustrates the Bellardi's anomaly. Okay, it wouldn't be a graph, a curved graph. It would be in where they are increasing and decreasing and so and so. Okay, so FIFO is not a better option. So we look up to the optimal algorithm. What do you mean by optimal algorithm? An optimal algorithm has lowest page fault and never suffers the Bellardi's anomaly. It means here, compared to FIFO, in this case, the page faults are less in number and you will never come across this particular situation. So what is the procedure of this optimal algorithm? Replace page that will not be used for the longest period of time. It means before you make any of the page as frame as victim, look if that particular frame will be not used in the future. It will not be used in the recent future, and that you make it as a victim. Okay, so let's how do you know this? Can't read the future, but I mean, there is a question like, how do you know the CPU will be asking for which particular frame of the question, right? You will really not know, because the CPU, which whenever it is free, it will take up a process and it will start executing. You will not know what is the future. So this is a question mark to be answered in the case of optimal algorithm. But how does it work? So look at the same string that I had taken for FIFO. For this same string, let's apply the optimal algorithm. What optimal algorithm says? Replace page that will not be used for the longest period of time. Okay, which won't be used for the longest period of time. Let's take the string. So first 7, then 0, then 1. Then you have the page 2. Now which will you make it as a victim? 7, 0 or 1. So look at 7 whether it is being used anytime. Yeah, it is used over here. Look at 0, is it being used? Yeah, immediately after 2 you want 0. Look at 1, where do you want it? You want it somewhere here. So 0 is required here, 1 is required here, and 7 is required here. So which is the one which you want to be using very recently? That is page 7. So you make page 7 as a victim, okay, and you swap out and put in the page 2. So this, it becomes 201. Clear? So you look at the future pages and see which will not be used very recently, that you make it as a victim. Now let's look at 0. Page 0 is already there. Then page 3 is coming. So if you want to select one of these as victim, which would you select? Look at 2 in after 3, it's used over here. Look at 0 after 3, it's used over here. Look at 1 after 3. Okay, you have to look at after the number, after the page is basically have to be replaced. Okay, 1 is over here. So which is not used in very latestly? That is 1. So remove 1 and place 3. Okay, next 0 is coming. Page 0 is already there, so you need not bother. Page 4 is coming. So which one do I select? 2 is wanted immediately, 3 is wanted after that, 0 is wanted after that. So 2 and 3 is wanted very much immediately. So remove 0 and place 4. Okay, now 2 and 3 pages are required, and that is already there in the physical frame. Then page 0 is coming. So look at the existence of usage of 2, 4 and 3. 0. 2 is required here, 3 is required here, and 4 is not at all required. So remove 4 and put 0. Happy? Now page 3 is required, already there. Page 2 required, already there. Page 1 is required, which is not there. So remove, look at who will be the victim. Page 2 is wanted immediately, page 0 is required. Page 3 is not at all there. So remove page 3 and put page 1. Done. Now page 2 is already there. Page 0 is already there. Page 1 is already there. So there are no page faults. Page 7 is wanted, which will be made as a victim. So remove page 2 because page 2 is not at all required. Then you want page 0, that is there, page 1 is there. So for the same sequence, you will see the number of page faults will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Previously, how many times? How many times was the page fault? 15 times. But now it is reduced to 9 times. For the same sequence, if you apply optimal algorithm, the number of times you're looking up to the disk is only 9 times. So it is better than FIFO. Okay, so this is how the optimal algorithm works. Okay, now, so there was one drawback we had question. You really don't know what are the pages that would be asked in future. But here I've put up saying that this is the sequence that the processor wants. But you really would not know what kind of a sequence would the processor look up to. In that, we make use of an other algorithm that is called as a least recently used algorithm. Right? So if the optimal algorithm is not feasible, perhaps the other approximation of the alternative is least recently used. Right? So what is the key distinction between first in first out and OPT? The first in first out always made use of the timestamp when it came in, and optimal used the concept that the page will not be there at all, right? But what if in case if we use the recent page as an approximation for the near future, then we have to replace the page that has not been used for a long period of time. So here you're telling, instead of looking at the future, look at the past. Okay, look at the past and see which is not being used, and still you have it on the disk, have it on the physical memory. Remove that. Okay, so least recently used algorithm will be on looking up to the past, or looking up to the past. So use past knowledge rather than future. So what is the procedure? Replace page that has not been used in the most amount of time. Recently I have not used it, that you make as the victim. Okay, so associate time of the last use for each page. So let's look into the same string and apply the least recently used. But when you're applying the least recently used, make sure that how many pages will you look up to. When you're telling you're looking at the future, how many pages will you look up to? Okay, so that depends upon the number of frames that is there in the physical memory. Okay, now let's look at it, work on it. So 7, 1 page fault, 0 is bought, second page fault, 1 page is bought, third page fault. Now this is done. Now 2 page has to be bought, but there are no free frame. How will you work on the LRU? Now, if you have to bring that page to, look at the previous 3 frames, 1, 0, and 7, which was not used recently, 7th frame, right? So replace page that has not been used in the most amount of time. So in the last 3 frames, if you look, 7 was not used. So you remove 7 and place 2. Okay. 0 is coming. It's already there. 3 pages, page 3 has to be brought onto the physical memory, but it is not there. So now you look at the last 3 frames, 0, 2, and 1, which was not used very frequently, 1. So you remove that and place 3. Okay, 0 is already there. Now page 4 is coming. Look at the previous 3, only previous 3, because only 3 pages are there. Look at the previous 3, and which is not used. Sorry, you really can't say page. Look, when I say look at the previous 3, you should look at 3 different pages. Okay, now if you look at page 0 has been repeated. So you look at 4 frames, 4 previous pages. 0, 3, and 2, which is recently, a lot used recently, 2. So remove 2 and put 4. Okay, now 2 is coming, it's not there. So look at 3. Look at 3 distinct unique pages, which is recent, not recently used. 3, remove 3 and page, put 2. Now page 3 is coming, which is not recently used. Page 0, remove 0 and put 3. Now page 0 is coming, it is not there. Look at previous 3 distinct pages. Page 4 was not used, so remove page and put 0. Okay, 3 is already there, 2 is already there. Now 1 is coming. Look at 3 distinct previous pages. 0 is not used, so remove 0 and put 1. 2 is already there. 0 is coming. Look at distinct page, 3 pages. 2, 1, 2 is there, so look at one more. 3 is not used, so remove 3 and put 0. 1 is already there. 7 have to be placed. Look at previous 3. 2 is recently used, so remove 2 and put 7. 0 is already there, 1 is already there. So when you apply the recently used algorithm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there are 12 page fault. So you can state it is better than FIFO, but worse than optimal, because FIFO 15, optimal 9, and least recently uses 12, right? So you basically, it's somewhere in between FIFO and OPT. Generally good algorithm and frequently used. So they say this is one of the generally used algorithm in most of the page replacement one of the best used, most frequently used page replacement algorithm. Okay. So these are the 3 main algorithms that you basically have to understand in the page replacement. Okay. So in today's class, we try to understand when there is a demand page and there is a page fault, we basically make use of the page replacement concept. If page replacement has to happen, we look at what we look, I mean, we basically try to understand who is the victim. If the victim is there, we also look at the modifier, the dirty bit. If it is not set, then you need not do a page out. You just do a page in, make it as a victim and do a page in. By understanding the basic concept of page replacement, we try to incorporate the different technique that we can apply when you have to do a page replacement. That is first in, first out, optimal page replacement, optimal page replacement, and least recently used. Okay, so we end the session over here and continue in the subsequent session. Thank you.